Monday afternoon. It is January 15th, 2024. I feel like we are marching through 2024. And before we know it, it'll be springtime, it'll be summertime, and then fall. And it's just crazy how time moves so fast. So you have such limited time on this earth. Make the best of it every day that you can. That's what I tell everybody. And I'm certainly trying to do that. But we are back here live on LTL True Crime. If this is your first time over here, welcome in. We love all the newcomers. Please make sure to subscribe and give this stream a thumbs up. We would appreciate that. But we're going to get into a little Idaho 4 content. I really haven't done a lot of it lately because I don't feel like there's much to talk about. But we got some new documents. We'll go through that. We have a couple of articles, no videos today. We'll spend a little time with this. Believe it or not, I'm really far behind. But there really hasn't been much. Last time we knew, we did an Idaho stream. The house on King Road has been demolished to the ground. There really hasn't been any reporting after that. We had a few more documents that came out on the Idaho website. So we'll read through some of that. And again, we have a couple of articles we'll bring up. But we'll start this out with probably one of the most important stories that have come out over the last couple of weeks. And this is from the Independent. It says Idaho murders prosecutors ordered to turn controversial DNA evidence over to Bryan Kohberger's defense. Only a portion of the IGG, investigative genealogy information, is subject to Latah County Judge John Judge's order. God, that's such a badass name for a judge. But we will go into this, and all the little pop-ups will pop up. A judge overseeing the University of Idaho quadruple murder case has ordered prosecutions to turn over DNA records to Bryan Kohberger's defense. Hang on one second. And I want to make sure that people understand what's going on. The prosecution, in my opinion, and just listening to a lot of the hearings, never really had an issue. It was just getting reports and lab results back. So it goes on to say Mr. Kohberger is sole suspect in the November 13th, 2022 stabbings of his arrest 7 weeks after Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogens, Anna Canodal, and Ethan Chapman were found brutally murdered in their off-campus home in the town of Moscow. According to the affidavit for his arrest, the genealogy database yields a link to Mr. Kohberger from the DNA on a knife sheath found next to Mogen's body. That is going to be, and I have to say this over and over and over and over and over and over again for the Kohberger sympathizers, you're going to have to explain for the people in the back of the room. I like this. I got this from Melanie Little the other day. For the people in the back of the room, you're going to have to explain how someone's DNA got on a knife sheath underneath two murdered college girls' bodies on a bed. It's not, it's, listen, no alibi. Well, the alibi is this. Well, he liked to go around, he liked to drive around long drives at night. Well, it sounds to me that's pretty much what the killer was doing that night. So it says, for months, the defense fought to obtain all the information, but those DNA records argued that it essentially led to capture all of their capture their client. On Thursday, Judge John Judge ordered in favor of the defense motion to compel discovery. However, only a portion of the IgG information is subject to the defense request. It remains unclear the specific material set to be released, as it is outlined in a sealed order to protect the privacy of the individuals on Mr. Kohberger's family tree. I was just looking again today. There's another motion to compel discovery. I think this is 11. There is so much evidence in this case. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. And there's so much that is sealed. That's just telling me they got a lot on this guy. They got the goods on this guy. And I'm sorry, I go back to this, and I've said this in a million other streams that I've done about this case. If I was an innocent person and I know that I did not cause or take part of a quadruple homicide, I would be standing on the courtroom steps or screaming at the top of the lungs in front of any camera that I can get in front of and say, I did not do this. Why have we not heard anything? And then when he had the opportunity to stand up in court and say innocent and guilty, he chose to stand silent. Wake up, people. I think we know what's going on here. The court, quote, the court has now completed its review of the information provided by the state and the orders of the state to discover to the defense a portion of the IgG information, the judge wrote in the ruling. Mr. Kohberger's attorney have cast doubts about the use of genealogy DNA in the case. In August, the defense submitted an affidavit by a DNA expert who argued the science behind genetic genealogy is not always allowed flawless. Oh, wait, that was the expert, and the expert, and again, I forget her name, but I know she got very controversial because after she went in and testified at the pretrial hearing as to this DNA, she wanted to go out and talk all over Facebook and had to get a little visit from the FBI. So I know people were challenging me last night in the Karen Reed Street that I had about the gentleman, Garrett, and I forgot his last name, Garrett Wing. Did I get that right? Last night, I know his first name was Garrett. I forgot his last. Garrett Witt. I think it was Witt. About his expertise in canines. And they said, well, this guy's not going to be allowed. I'm Karen Reed's case. Well, we have someone that literally had no, I don't think she even had any formal training. She was just someone that was studying genetic genealogy DNA and gained her experience over that. And I think she had solved a couple of cases putting family trees together and putting DNA trees together. And she was allowed to go to a pretrial hearing. She's a witness, an expert witness that gave her opinion. And last night, I had some people tweeting at me, well, you can't let that guy go in there and talk about canines. He's not a medical examiner. And then I had to actually literally read the definition of an expert witness from Cornell University. And yeah, he would be allowed to go in court. So anyway, goes into prosecutors then contested that the DNA profile created from the knife sheath evidence, which produced the link to Mr. Kohberger through someone in his family line, has not only evidence used to secure Mr. Kohberger's arrest. Mr. Kohberger was also tied to the scene of the crime through cell phone data and surveillance data that has placed his Hyundai Elantra, it's not an Electra, near the victim's home. That's a typo. Excuse me. And around the time of the murders, according to the affidavit unsealed last year. And if you haven't just watched, go back and watch my Bluetooth speaker episodes and my Wi-Fi episodes. And that'll give you a little bit more of some of the evidence that they probably most likely have on Bryan Kohberger, pinning him down to 1122 King Road. At the time of the murders, Mr. Kohberger was a graduate student studying criminology at the Washington State University, which is a short drive from the scene of the killings across from the state border. He was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania on December 30th, 2022. Although his initial trial date has been set for October, several motions filed in the case have delayed the proceedings. Why do you keep bunking and trying to delay this case if you are so confident in defending your client? Then why have we not gone to trial? Remember his statement. His statement was he is looking forward to being exonerated. Well, let's get there and let's get you exonerated then. Why has your team slowed this down to the biggest snail pace that we've ever seen in any case? And I'm obviously being facetious in that, but let's get to trial. If you're so confident that you want to be, you're going to be exonerated, then let's get this to trial. The last month, prosecutors asked the judge that a new date to be set in the summer of 2024, and that's possibly looking like it could happen. Okay, before we go into reading some of the new documents, I wanted to pull this article up. I saw this, and I know that Kaylee's mom, Christy, has been posting a lot of new photos of Kaylee since getting her phone back from the police up on their Gonzalez family Facebook page. And I will read through some of this, and then we'll go through some of the legal documents. So it says, mother's pain. Mom of Idaho victim Kaylee Gonzalez shares rarely seen videos of daughter as the killer Bryan Kohberger's trial approaches. Prosecutors are hoping to wrap up the trial before September. The mom of the Idaho student who was murdered in her rented home has shared a rarely, I don't know why I can't get this out, rarely has seen video of her daughter. Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, died alongside friends Madison Mogan, also 21, Xana Knodel, and Ethan Chapman, 20, in a Moscow house on November 13, 2022. And this was that video here. I don't know if I can play it. No, it's just a screen grab, but you can go over it if you're interested in seeing it. It's a cute video. The victim's mom, Christy, told that the family's Facebook group on Wednesday to upload a video of her late daughter cuddling a puppy. The clip captured, "I miss you so much, Kaylee Jade," shows the stain of student playful prying the pooch away from her face. Oh my goodness, you're crazy. Yes, you are, she giggles. The murder suspect, Bryan Kohberger, is indicted by a grand jury in May for the murder of 4 students. The accused killer has been working on his PhD criminology and the minds of criminals at the Washington State University, which is right across the state border of the University of Idaho. Police linked Bryan Kohberger to the deaths of the 4 college students with DNA, cell phone records, and surveillance video. I don't know. That's kind of like a triple threat there, wouldn't you say? That's a triple burner. We got DNA, we have cell phone records, and surveillance video. Gee, wasn't a lot of that stuff that they got Murdoch on, minus probably the surveillance videos? But that was a Snapchat video that basically nailed them. So I don't know. Maybe we could put that in the surveillance category as well. Actually, no. I don't think he had any DNA on him. I don't think he did. But that Snapchat video nailed him down. The trial was initially set to begin in October, but Kohberger's legal team waived his right to the speedy trial to slow this case down to a snail's crawl. The alleged murderer has been maintained as innocent, pleading not guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 charge of burglary. So that's from The Sun. And if you want to see, they've been uploading a lot of new photos on here. This one here is not new. We've seen this for for a while now, but there's a lot of new photos and videos that Christy has been posting over there. So please go over to the Gonsalves family Facebook page and give it a like. They post some really good stuff over there, just keeping us up to date with what's going on in their family. I think they just had another baby in their family too, which is sweet. Okay, let's read through some legal documents. This one here is the Code of Conduct, and I found this a little interesting. I think this is do I have the right one up? Do I have the right one up? I think I do. Hang on. Oh, I do. All right. So let's see. Amendment ordering governing courthouse and courtroom conduct. And I know everybody get very excited about this the other day. It came out on January 5th, 5 p.m., 2024. And I think people got very excited because they're like, oh, wow, this is going to happen probably in the summer. Quite possible. It may not. So this order governs courthouse and the courtroom conduct and media activities. In this case, this order shall supersede any prior order governing courthouse and courtroom conduct. The courtroom is mindful of the needs to balance, 1, constitutional rights of the defendant to a fair hearing, 2, the public right to the information in conjunction with the constitutional and statutory rights of the media to attend proceedings. The court's interest in maintaining order in the environment that permits, all participants to focus on their responsibilities without undue distractions, and 4, the court interest in the safety of the public and court personnel, and needs to follow all Idaho Supreme orders as they may change or amend from time to time, with the factors in mind pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rules IRCA 45 and 49. It is hereby ordered, 1, that courtroom seating and attendance, seating for victims' families, counsel, defendant family, and court personnel, certain seating may be reserved for counsel authorized by court personnel and the defendant's family and victims' families. B, general public and media seatings. The public and member of the media may permit in the courtroom as space permits on the first come bias. No person may reserve a seat. No standing in the courtroom will be allowed. Seating in front of the bar. No person other than the court personnel designated by the court and the defendant and counsel and their assistants shall permit to sit in front of the bar of the courtroom without specific authorization of the court. Entry and exiting court proceedings. Spectators, including members of the media and the public, shall be seated before the court is in session during any portion of the hearing. No entry or re-entry to the courtroom shall be permitted while the court is in session. No movement around the courtroom will be allowed during the court proceedings. So if you're in there, you got to go to the bathroom, you leave, you ain't coming back in. And that probably goes for everybody, family, friends, whoever's allowed in that courtroom. If you leave, you are not coming back in. And if you move around a lot, they're probably going to ask you to leave. Interesting. General restrictions and requirements. Security screening. All persons entering the courtroom are subject to security screenings. No food, beverage, firearms, or any weapons are permitted in the courthouse. All handbags, backpacks, and purses are prohibited in the courtroom. Any personal property items are subject to inspection. By the way, if you haven't already, please smash the liketh button. I would appreciate that. We'll get this stream out there and get some more Idaho fans in here. Okay, cell phones. Cell phones are not permitted inside the courthouse, but are permitted inside the courthouse. Sorry. Yeah, no food. Yeah, I'm not going either. No food. But must be turned off and stowed out of view during the proceedings in any court recesses while inside the courtroom. Cell phones shall not be used for texting, emailing, recording, or transmitting audio, images, or written accounts of proceedings to platforms such as Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blogs, or any other similar platforms or websites while inside of the courtroom. Cell phones may only be used outside of the courtroom. Violation of the rule may result in confiscation of the phone by the court, a bailiff, or other court personnel. So that's it. If you're in the galley, you ain't tweeting. And we usually get people that live tweet. That sucks. But on the flip side, there better be a camera inside that courtroom. We need to make sure that we can see live. No, we're going to tape it and play it after. No audio, we're going to play it after. No, I want live. Other electronic devices, computer, laptops, or any similar devices are permitted in the courtroom for note-taking only and may only be used in a manner that does not interfere with the court proceeding. Tell me that there's going to be at least one person that gets caught violating this. I'll put a bet out there. I'll bet someone $1 that someone's going to get caught violating this rule and gets kicked out or gets their device confiscated. I'm telling you, someone's going to try to do something. It may only be used to interfere with the court proceedings. Camera and microphone on electronic devices must be disabled while inside the courtroom. Electronics shall not be used to email, chat, record, or transmit audio, images, or written accounts of proceedings to platforms such as Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, all the other ones above there. A violation of this rule may result in confiscation of any device by the court, bailiff, or any other court personnel. Disruptive behavior. Any activity or behavior which is considered disruptive by the court will result in removal from the courtroom. Any spectator who creates a visual or audio disturbance of the court proceedings may be removed from the courthouse building or at any time. Discretion of the court security personnel. Coverage. Here we go. Coverage. Video recording, still photography, audio recording prohibited. No video recording, still photography, or audio recording is permitted by the members of the media or the town as ordered by the court on November 17, 2023. Order denying second motion to intervene with granting defendant's motion to remove media cameras from the courtroom. A live stream of the proceedings will be provided by the court and will be available in real time on the court's YouTube page found at, hey, thanks for making this hyperlink that we can actually copy and paste it. So good luck when you're typing that in your browser. The media and public may capture and use the live stream video and audio footage, but are strictly prohibited from altering the footage in any way, including zooming in on the defendant, live broadcasting, transmitting, or streaming any media and the public from inside the courtroom is prohibited. I must have proceeded. The prohibitions include during recesses and court proceedings. Wow. So we're going to be able to live stream, which is good. So we'll be able to live stream it live. They're going to have a live stream. Can't cut the footage up, which there's going to be millions of people watching this. I don't know how the hell they're going to track people down if they use it for a video. But we'll be able to at least live stream, which is good. But that's, I mean, come on, man. Make this so we can copy and paste it here. Oh, I actually might be able to copy the text. I'll look at that later. Anyway, so we go on to portions of the proceedings will not be, the portions of the proceedings will not be live streamed. Here's something very interesting. The court-operated live stream coverage of proceedings will not include audio or video of closed hearings, private bench conferences, sidebars, between the court and counsel, conferences between an attorney and client, or conferences among counsel. The video and audio recordings may be stopped or paused at any time by the court to protect sensitivity of witnesses, exhibits, members of the trial jury, and for any other reason the court deems necessary pursuant to IRCA 45. So, are we not going to hear testimony from Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk? Are you telling me that you're going to cut the camera or pause the video during probably some of the most important testimony in this trial? You're going to deprave the public of that? You've got to be kidding me. Those are the two people that were in the house that night. Are they going to be calling the others that showed up on the stand to testify, and you're going to turn the camera off, or you're going to pause the video? I hope that if the camera is paused, that audio will resume. I think that we should have the right to hear that. And listen, I'm not getting down on Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. I want them to be the most comfortable witnesses that we need. Anything that's going to make them comfortable, that's going to make them a better witness, that's going to make them want to show up to court and sadly relive all this shit. But I think that it needs to be transparent. Oh, no, it's even saying it will include audio. It will pause audio and video. That's bullshit. So, I don't know how that's going to turn out. I don't want to read a transcript. I want to hear it. Interviews, reporting, and vehicle parking. News conferences, interviews, and reporting is prohibited inside the courtroom or courthouse, common areas, new conferences. Pretty basic stuff here. Media inquiries and communications regarding these matters shall be directed to Nate. Okay. You have secured area, security officers may be quiet or disperse members of the public or media so they do not hinder the public from Latah County employees. The court staff is assessing the building to the district court's office and other courtrooms of offices in the building. Disruptive behavior. Any activity or behavior which is considered, sorry about that. Any activity or behavior which is considered disruptive by the court will result in removal. Any spectator who creates a visual auditory disturbance of the court proceedings may be removed from the courtroom and of the building of any time at the discretion of the court security personnel. Violation of this order may be subject to violators to in charge of contempt. The court of the clerk shall post this order in conspicuous locations within the courthouse to provide copies to all interested parties. It is so ordered, and it's signed John C. Judge, Administrative District Judge, January 5th, 2024. So, I mean, hey, the rules are there. There was some other documents that came out a couple of weeks ago that talked about when they wanted this trial to take place and possible times and working it around the school schedules and what times they were going to work. So it could happen. It could happen. I think the only other thing in this case now is change of venue. And then this, I don't think it's going to hold it up too much longer if they did a change of venue, but it's looking like this is going to happen in Latah County. I think it's going to happen there. Let's pull up a couple of more documents here. Let's see. We had a motion to January 5th. This was a motion to temporary seal objection to defense motion to reconsider orders denying motions and dismiss indictment and the alternative for permission to appeal from interlocutory orders and the stay of proceedings pending in hearing. Say that 3 times fast. So he says, come now, the state of Idaho through the Latah County prosecutor's attorney here moves the court pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32G1 in the motion temporary seals objection to the defendant. I just read all that. I'm not going to read it all again. And the code of 74-124 temporary sealing the state's objection to defendant's motion to reconsider orders denying motions and dismiss indictment and the alternative to permission to appeal from interlocutory orders and stay of proceedings herein because release is disclosure of the world. Disclosure would interfere with enforcing proceedings. 2, deprive a person of the right of fair trial and impartial adjudication. 3, constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. 3, disclose the identity of the confidential source and or disclose investigation techniques and procedures. The undersigned seek to protection pending a hearing on this matter. Wherefore, the states respectively praise that the court seal from public disclosure to the estate's objection to the defense motion to reconsider the orders denying motions to dismiss the indictment and in the alternative permission to appeal from interlocutory orders, a stay of proceedings herein under the provisions of the Idaho Court of Administration Rule 32G1 in Idaho Code 74 124, respectively submitted on the 5th of January. Ashley Jennings, Senior Deputy Prosecutor. That was a lot. So, sealing, more sealing, more sealing. That's just another one that's confirming. Let's see. Oh, this was interesting. The court having this one here is ordered to file Defendant's Exhibit J attached to Defendant's 11th supplemental request for discovery under seal. So Defendant's Exhibit, interesting. The court having the defendant stipulated motion for file Exhibit J attached to Defendant's 11th supplemental request for discovery under seal is good cause appearing now for it. It is hereby ordered that the defendant's Exhibit J is attached to 11th supplemental request for discovery shall be filed under seal pursuant to IRCA 3212D and E and IC 74-124 1B and C. So that was ordered by John Judge. So an exhibit. Let's see this now. And this was Ann Taylor moving in. That you had on the 9th. Stipulation motion to file Exhibit J attached to the defendant's 11th supplemental order. This is from Ann Taylor. Comes now that Bryan Kohberger on through his attorney, Ann C. Taylor, public defenders, hereby moves the court for an order to file Exhibit J to the defendant's 11th supple request for discovery under seal. Again, I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge, and I'm not a lawyer. This motion made pursuant to IRC. So stipulation motion filed, it seals that. Seals from the public. Lots of sealing from the public. More motions, more files. What was this one here? This was the 11th supplemental request for discovery. That tells me there's a hell of a lot of evidence in this case. This was on January 9th at 1:58 p.m. 2024. Defendant's supplementary request for discovery. Please take notice that undersigned pursuant to Rule 16, the Idaho Criminal Rules of the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States, Article 1, 1, 2, 13, and 17 of the Constitution states the Idaho requests discovery inspection of all materials discovered by defendant per IRC B16 B1-8 and their affirmation constitutional provisions, including not to limit to following information, evidence, material in Exhibit J. I want to know what Exhibit J is. What's Exhibit J? We want to know. What is it? What do we think Exhibit J is? And then we have public order from disclosure of IGG information. Obviously, we just read the article about that, but I'll pull it up here and just peruse through it quickly. Sorry about that. I don't know why my phone should be turned off and silenced, and it just wants to ping. Let's see. Hang on one second. Wow, interesting. So one of my followers that actually watched the interview room yesterday, and I'm not sure if Kimmy's in the room, but Kimmy, she actually came up last time and did the Bluetooth speaker episode live with me. She just said, I learned from yesterday through Chris from the interview room that we never actually saw the PCA. It was sealed right away. What we've been looking at this whole time is Exhibit A, not a PCA. Chris said he's never seen a PCA get sealed. very interesting. I actually started to watch some of that episode this morning. I got distracted for stuff on my channel. And like I said, I try to catch up as much as I can on all this other stuff, but I've been so far behind on Idaho. My life has literally been immersed in Karen Reed's case. If you're following the Karen Reed case here on my channel, with some of you may not be because you're here for Idaho content, there is a big case in Massachusetts that I have been really involved in the sense of doing tons of live streams. I'm helping out another creator on their channel right now. And I urge you all to I urge you all to check out the Karen Reed case. You can, that's a wonderful picture, by the way. Hey, Kimmy, how are you? I urge you all to go over and watch some of the material about Karen Reed. It will flip your mind. What is a PCA? So a PCA is a probable cause affidavit. That is something that is written by the Commonwealth or state that will lead out their interpretation of a case that can lead to the arrest of someone. So it gives you the basic details in a case that will give them probable cause to arrest someone. In the Idaho case, it's a very extensive PCA. That is crazy to find out that what we've been looking at is Exhibit A. It's not even, it's funny that you say that, because I think I remember pulling up a version of it one time and seeing Exhibit A in it. And I remember when Laura used to come on, and we looked through that document one time, and I think it was all attached to the document when he was arrested at his parents' house. I would have to go back and look, but that's a really interesting fact. And it's amazing. Sealed right away. I'm going to tell you, they got the goods on this dude. They got the goods on this dude. They got the goods on this dude. Okay, so public order for disclosure of the IGG information. Again, I just read the article here, but we'll go through this really quick. On October 25th, 2023, the court issued an order addressing the IGG DNA and the order from the in-camera review to address the state's motion to prevent the disclosure of the investigation IGG information to the defense, and the defense's motion to compel discovery of all the information pertaining to IGG investigation. On November 30th, 2023, the state submitted to the court in camera and all IGG information pertaining to the state's investigation from both the FBI and private laboratory. And again, the FBI, and I just make sure that people understand, I know love them or hate them. I know there's people that love them and hate them. They're not going to get involved in a case if they don't know they want, their track record is very good. Is what I'm basically saying. The court has now completed its review of the information provided by the state and the orders the state to discover in the defense motion of the IGG information. The specific material is provided to set forth in a sealed order to protect the privacy of the IGG information, including individuals from the family tree, dated this 11th day, January 2024, John C. Judge, District Judge. So that's it. That's really all of the latest updated information. Again, I'm so far behind on this. I've been immersed again in Karen Reed. I will have a live tonight at 8:15 p.m. where I'm going to be doing a looking back series, and I've done that in the Idaho case before, but we're going to go all the way back to the very, 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 very beginning of the Karen Reed case and bring us all the way up to the current date. If you don't know, there is a possible hearing on the 18th, this Thursday, for Karen Reed. We're not sure if it's going to be in person. We're not sure if it's going to be a Zoom. We're still waiting. So I know the courts are not open today, so we may hear something tomorrow. We know that the FBI has now been mentioned again, and Levy is saying that the letters and communication, I think it was 6 or so letters or emails, are going to be able to be made public. Or just says, Levy just basically, I don't have an issue with it. So I'd be interesting and curious to see what happens with that. So we're waiting here for some more information on Karen Reed. And if you're not caught up on that case, I urge you, please go to my homepage. I have tons of lives that I've done on Karen's case, and it's just a very important case to hear in Massachusetts, and to free Karen Reed, because we know that she's 1,000,000% innocent of what's going on and what the Commonwealth is trying to blame on her. But we will get to the bottom of it. We will keep continuing to support Karen, and hopefully all this works out in her favor, as it should, because there's just so much reasonable doubt in that case. It's crazy. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up. Super short live today. I will be back here at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do some more Karen Reed in this case. We are marching towards 15,000 subscribers. I'm looking at the count right now, 14,770. Man, it'd be awesome if we hit 15,000 by this weekend. We're going to celebrate, and I'm going to give away a nice prize to a lucky subscriber, remember. And we'll have a little celebration stream. I think it's nice to celebrate achievements. You all have been here and made this channel happen. So I'm going to get out of here. I have a few things that I need to do this afternoon. I'm looking forward to seeing you all back here tonight if you can. Like I said, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will drop the link for tonight's live stream. We'll be going all the way back to the very, 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 very beginning, what started it all in Karen Reed's case. And I'll drop the link here if you want to join me over there. I would appreciate it. Like I said, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you guys tonight. If not, you can catch it on replay. Thanks again for hanging out this afternoon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.